must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from London, the Political Command Center. This morning, good morning, all of you, wherever you are on the African continent, in Americas, where you have woken up to a new dawn of a new change, new direction, new civilization. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, viewers in Nairobi, Kenya, in Uganda, in East Africa. This is Good Morning Africa, news making headlines in Africa, in Kenya, in Uganda, in every part of Africa and the world. This is the Political Command Center of Punchline Africa Television, all the way from London. I'm Dr. Matsanga, the host this morning, because Miriam is on assignment. She will be back most likely tomorrow. Thank you very much, viewers. My panel in Nairobi, in Kenya. Good morning in Meru, Douglas, Budi Kirimi. How are you?
Good morning, Dr. Matsanga from the Political Command Center in London. And also good morning to my friend Jevan Karanja. Good morning to my friend Roya Kidimwaga, and also good morning to our crew back at our headquarters, and also good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers across the globe. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Next is Karanja Javan from Nanyuki, where the train has started going, passing by, delivering passengers. A grand move by President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya for making Kenya proud again. Kenya is proud again. Today, the train moves all the way from Mombasa. You connect in Nairobi, you are up in Nanyuki on your farm. That is what we are looking for.
Yes.
These are things that people don't see. Good morning, Karanja.
Good morning, Dr. David Matsanga. Good morning to my friend Douglas Kirimi. Good morning to Akili Kidimwanga, and good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And indeed, Doctor, the train is good and it is affordable. It cuts across, and even those who call themselves hustler, they can afford this train. It's a all dynamic economic transformation through the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you for having me on the panel.
Last, as we wait for Professor Onyari to join in, is High Court Advocate Lawyer Kidi Mwaga. Kidi, good morning, Wakili. Good morning, lawyer. How are you? How is the Constitution of Republic of Kenya? How is the chairman of LSK? Is there LSK anymore?
Dr. Good morning. Good morning to our viewers, and good afternoon in Kenya, in East Africa, and around the world. This is Kidimwaga joining Punchline Africa TV with Dr. David Matsanga. And we are coming here today to deliberate among other things, why the BBI process holds a greater promise for the young people in Kenya, and it is a model that can be emulated by other democracies in Africa and around the world. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, viewers, wherever you are in Uganda. Thank you very much. Those who are still under captivity, thank you very much, Bob Wine. Vumilia hapo, tutakutoa. We shall liberate you one day. Liberation will come one day. There is nothing permanent. Idi Amin is gone. Obote is gone. Okello is gone. Basilio Olala Okello is gone. Mwanga is gone. Obote is gone. There's nothing permanent. So don't take the law in your hands and break property. All these things are arranged by God. Just stick to the path of towards Jerusalem. Just sit, pray that one day a Savior will rise from the east, where the sunshine comes from, and deliver one day that country. Don't be violent. Don't be violent. Salvation is coming, is on the way. You can hide, but you can't hide the sunshine. You can hide, but you can't hide the truth. Mr. Trump tried to hide the truth. He is now playing golf in Miami as an ordinary citizen, and may be impeached. Maybe all presidential powers of being protected will be removed. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, all of you. There used to be a song, the Battle of Waterloo. Who of you on the panel remembers the Battle of Waterloo by Napoleon? Every morning that I pass around that place on my way to work in London, I think of the Battle of Waterloo. Good morning, Africa. Thank you very much. Viewers, wherever you are, let's start with the newspaper's headlines. But before I go to the newspaper headlines, I would like to update you on the question of COVID-19 on the continent of Africa, and especially in Kenya. As we know, there are quite a number of very interesting things happening today, and COVID-19 presents a challenge. And I want to take this opportunity to inform the panel that one of the things that we have been waiting for was the new world order. And a world order that is brought about by the swearing-in ceremony of the new president of the United States of America. Confirmed cases in Kenya yesterday are 99,444. Those who have perished, 736. Recoveries are 82,654. If you can do your mathematics, you can find out that the recovery is almost catching up with the infection. Those infected are nearer to those recovery. So Kenya is done very well, contained steadily and steadily. Uganda confirmed cases are 38,628, 305 people dead, but with the campaigns now coming up, the cases might be up, might go higher than we thought. So 13,413 have recovered and are gone home. I've chosen Zimbabwe because I lost a friend. Zimbabwe has 29,408. 879 people have died, 19,253 so far. Given the situation of Zimbabwe, they have done very well in containing this menace. And other places in South Africa, it is worse. We have 1.3 million people affected, 38,000 dead, and recovery is 1,160, which is not, it is very good. It's moving towards catching up with the rate of infection. That means they're fighting. You can see the balance coming up, given that this disease changes its own format, comes in many other ways. That is the situation in Africa as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Coming back to the newspapers in Kenya, I think I have seen from the newspapers in Kenya, I can see from the Daily Nation says, let me see, I've got a copy. The Daily Nation says, a new day for America. In our second version, or our show at 11, we shall see, look at this new dawn of world order. Yesterday, as you are aware, President Joe Biden immediately revoked all obnoxious laws that Mr. Trump had put there, returned a new world order, returned to World Health Organization, returned to climate change. He is going to return to ICC. You know, he left that ICC matter because it touches Americans. You can lose popularity very quickly. I will explain to you why. Because you have a gentleman here who knows that international law very perfect. So he did not want to sign the revocation order on ICC because it touches Americans. You can't give ICC the plight to pick American soldiers in Afghanistan. So there are things. So these are the things we are going to see. Today have a meaning of the new world order. And as we speak, you have seen the priorities were laid out openly. The Secretary of State says he targets Uganda, Ethiopia, and Cameroon. It will not surprise you that there will be several regime change in Africa. And I can see also another newspaper from Kenya. The Standard has a similar meaning, saying, enters Biden. There enters Biden, or beaten. Or how do you call this man? Any of you who is in very good English, because me, I don't like
Biden.
Yes, Biden. Yes. Joe Biden.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. I don't know whether he knows how to pronounce Dr. Matsanga.
I can pronounce Dr. David Matsanga.
You see? If Biden doesn't know how to pronounce my name, he will say Dr. Matsanga. You know? Look, so why should I be very much practicing to pronounce his name? I want the spirit of nationalism. So another newspaper from Kenya says Raila's 2022 bid unsettles NASA plan to beat Ruto. Indeed, if we are not careful on that, and I want my panel to look at those, you have seen all the headlines, starting with the Star. The political dynamics of Kenya seem to be, you might deliver a victory to a man who has created a warfare. It's a warfare. The Hassola dynasty issue is a warfare. And the government has to come in quickly before this Hassola narrative goes down to the masses. I am very much perturbed, and I'm one of the few people who writes the way I write, because Ruto did not pay my school fees to stop me from writing. My school fees were paid by my father. Therefore, I'm not writing on his wall, I'm writing on my wall. If he has something to write, let him write. And if he writes about me, I'll write about him. That's the bottom line. Until we shall see. And I want to tell Kenyans, And I want to tell Ugandan youth who are struggling for Bob Wine to be released, that the man called Ruto works with Museveni. They do business with Museveni. And therefore, there is nothing to be shy about. As Ugandans, we are going to go for people who work with Museveni. We are not going to keep quiet. Therefore, any stupid man who's writing on my wall, you should know why I'm bitter. This is a man that I stood and went and saved from the Hague. Museveni had signed the ICC to take them. He gave them offices. Before Kenya gave offices in Nairobi, ICC offices were in Uganda. All the information that was collected on Ruto, Uhuru, and everything was done in Uganda and Tanzania. That's where the offices were. Chikwete gave them an office. Museveni gave them an office. I want Ruto to understand that Museveni he's dealing with never liked him to even come out. But I stood. Therefore, I have a share. I have pain. The pain I see Hassan Omar being resurrected from the death point when he was very poor and the wife was running away. And he's being given millions of stolen money to campaign for Ruto. Yet Hassan Omar wanted Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. People are telling us not to talk about it. We are going to use all the tactics. And I want Kidi, Kirimi, and Javan, Professor Onyari. My friend was there. We shall use all methods to expose these double standards. Look at the people who are surrounding His Excellency Dr. William Ruto. Wajambazi wenyewe. These are thieves. Corrupt. There is nobody there who is not against. Show me one person who when he sees the police car passing, does not hide. You people are in Kenya. I'm not in Kenya. I'm very far away. Are you hearing me? Haven't you seen some of them in their cars putting themselves down when they see a police car passing? From Kachagwa of Mavira, 200 billion on your account. How did you get it? From Kidero, how did you get the money? Murukomen, NYS. Now you add it there even this Miss NYS who is, I've seen on the newspaper, one of the newspapers. I don't know who has it. Miriam Da is not in the, I think Professor Gerard Onyari has the newspapers. There is Waiguru also mangamangering around Kirinyaga. We are only respecting you, but the time is going to come when we shall destroy you. We know the plots that you have bought out of the corruption money. So don't think we don't know. If we see you going for Uhuru Kenyatta's jugular, we shall also come for you. Especially me. I don't care about the rest of you. But for me, if you go for Uhuru Kenyatta, I go for you. An enemy, a friend of my enemy, is not my friend. And I want you to understand that. This hustler and the dynasty is confusing the people of Kenya. How can you have 5 helicopters, bulletproof, Airbus, and you're a hustler? When your children are sick, they are treated in Dubai, you're a hustler. When your children are working in the embassy, you are a hustler. I've not seen President Uhuru Kenyatta appoint one of his children to work in an embassy. To fake arms to come to kill people in East Africa. We are looking for, you see, the political situation in Capedo must be understood to the context of the warfare of hustler versus dynasty. Why is it all the governors of the Northwest, except the governor of West Pokot, why is it that most of those governors are with the hustler? What does Nanoko know, which we don't know? Today you are going to even be in a more scary situation. We have officers being killed in Capedo. Who is killing people in Capedo? 4 months ago, 200 prisoners, hardcore criminals, escaped from the Ugandan jail. The jail was in Moroto. I don't know whether you in Nairobi or all of you in Kenya know where Moroto is. I believe you know Moroto is a neighboring county, district, or province to Ghana and the West Pokot. Why were 200 criminals, hardcore former UPDF soldiers who had committed various crimes, removed from maximum prisons and brought to a low-level prison which has got only a fence of trees and flowers? Have you ever heard of a maximum prison which has got a fence of trees and flowers which you can just jump and you bring a hardcore criminal and leave him there? These people escaped with several guns. To date, the Uganda government has not given us how many it has killed, how many it has captured, how many guns they have recovered. And then now you see in Capedo, a very well calculated area which is near Moroto. You know, when you pass Moroto, Karamoja, and I walk through, if you have your 200 guns or even 60 guns, who will catch you? Who? On the panel, you tell me who will catch you, Professor. You have men armed. So, the context in which we should be discussing the politics of Kenya versus those who support what is going on in the region. Corruption is killing the whole East Africa. Corruption is killing Africa, Kenya. You talk about BBI. If you don't like the BBI, a normal person will resign. Just resign and oppose it. Nobody has explained to me why you hate a government and then you are still in the government. You are being protected by the same government. You are using the bicycles, motor, these driver, bodyguards of the same government. Why don't you just step aside and oppose the government you don't like? You give them 7 helicopters to use them to kill Bob White, to transport people. So you expect others not to see? They keep quiet? No, they will also talk. And it is high time the younger generation in Kenya knew And we shall use that narrative very soon. Very soon. And you will not see, unless you'll see pseudo accounts on Facebook. Because most of the younger people in Kenya like Bob Wine. But when they find out that the man they like in Kenya is the one equipping the one in Uganda to kill Bob Wine, where will you have the supporters, Karanja? You will not have.
Will diminish.
So, gentlemen, in our breakfast show this morning, breakfast with Dr. Matsanga, all the way from London, enjoy, discuss. I will begin as the professor arranges. He's always the man who summarizes our thoughts as he arranges his light, because his light seemed to have left him in darkness. We can't see you properly, Kapisa. You are in a very dark situation. Now we can see you a bit, but still the lighting is not very comfortable. We don't want you to be Anas or Caliphas. You know, don't you know, people who follow Deputy President Ruto are like the high priests, Anas and the Caliphas. You remember those two priests? When Jesus was crucified, they said, oh no, this man, Kumbe, he was very good. You know, at the moment, Anas and the Caliphas are busy saying there is a hustle and narrative of a wheelbarrow. But none of them carries their children to school in a wheelbarrow. Their children are rolled in a V8 every morning to be dropped at school. There is none of these guys who has used a wheelbarrow. None of them sleeps in Mathare, Kibra, or any other places. They all sleep in Matsanga. They all sleep in Muyenga, half London, Nakasero, Kololo. And then they call others, they say they are hustlers. How can you be a hustler when you have 7 helicopters? I leave it to you Kenyans, and I begin with Mr. Kirimi, open up. Then I come to Karanja, then I come to Kidi, then now the real man McCoy, Prof, brings it on. Bring it on now. That's the subject. What is a narrative of a hustler going to gain? What are we gaining? A hustler versus dynasty. Who is a hustler? Who is a hustler? A hustler who has a house whose compound is as big as Nairobi, with swimming pools and landing sites for helicopters, is a hustler. Let's discuss, Karim.
Thank you, Dr. Matsanga, and thank you, Professor Jared Onyari. Good morning, and also to all our viewers across the world. This morning, I am a very sad young man concerning what our leaders have come back and trooped back to our rural areas and also rural towns to be able to sell as their candidates for 2022. The other day, when the people of Kapendo were dying and also being killed by bandits, the governor of Turkana, His Excellency Governor Josphat Nanok, was in Nairobi City County campaigning for a presidential candidate where the people of Kapendo were dying and also were being killed by bandits in Kapendo. This is a man that does not care about the children and the women who suffer most when there is violence, when there is a bandit attack, when there is an attack on a population, women and children history, and also science shows that women and children suffer more. If the governor of Turkana cries and talks about the people of Turkana, the poor people masses who are in Turkana, why did he abandon them and come and fly to Nairobi so that he can continue campaigning for the Deputy President, William Ruto? Another perspective that I saw from Nanok is when he said, whatever I studied in school, whatever Jevan Karanja and the Karanjas of this world, whatever Professor Jared Onyari has been teaching people at university is called a wheelbarrow. I am sad when such a man who has received over 60 billion to better lives of poor women, of poor children, and of poor men of Turkana County, who has received more donor funds than any other county in this country, has now come back and told those people that the education does not matter. When Professor Jared Onyari releases the graduates from university, they can only be given wheelbarrows to empower themselves. Remember, what they are doing today is giving 10 wheelbarrows or 20 wheelbarrows, and then they franchise the whole society in the name of wheelbarronomics. This is something that our children cannot be able to enjoy. This is not what we, the youth of this country, can be able to enjoy. The other day, Rigathi Gachagua was in Nyandarua County, and he called himself an Asra. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua is a thief who has stolen over 200 billion transacted directly at the Rafiki Bank account that he owns with his wife. This is a man that they franchised the people of Nyeri County when his brother was sick in London, in Loyal Marsden Hospital. Remember, this is the same man who was reigning as the governor when his brother was sick in 2016, and also a man that has been able to steal and siphon government resources from different government agencies. Over 200 billion has been transacted by Rigathi Gachagua, the MP for Madeira, who has also now gone for the Jugra. He has gone for the CDF at the Madeira constituency. This is a man, and together with his brother, who are multi-billionaires across this city. And again, these are the same people calling themselves Asuras. Where are the poor masses of this nation? Where are the mamambogas? Where are the people who are barber shop operators and also salonists in this country? When Rigathi Gachagua, a multi-billionaire with the corrupt route that he has stolen from government, county government of Nyeri, the national government of the Republic of Kenya, the CDF, the national CDF of Madeira constituency, when these people masquerade as Asaras, who is a poor man in this country? And I'll write a small letter to the people and the poor masses of this nation. I write to you, the poor people who are hunters and animal keepers in Northeastern Province. I write to you who migrate from one region to another. I write to you who have no other home other than a manyata that has to move from one temporal place to another temporal place. I write to you, the pastoralists of this nation. I write to you, the pastoralists in Samburu, people with nothing else other than their herds of cattle and their school-going children. Poor people of this nation, across the nation, across every valley and every mountain in this nation. I write to you, the poor people of Mount Elgon. I write to you, the poor people of Kakamega. And I write to you, the poor masses in Mombasa. Poor people, downtrodden people that cannot afford the school fees now that schools have gone back this January. Poor people whose children uniforms cannot be repaired because they have no food. The poor people of this nation whose children cannot be able to access extracurricular activities at their schools because they have not paid for that. Poor people who in the next 1 hour in their primary schools cannot be able to afford the porridge that is cooked in different public schools because they cannot be able to afford that. The poor people in Kibera, poor people in Mathare, poor people in Mukuru Kwanjenga, poor people in Madeira, where Rigathi Gachagua, multi-billionaire, has not empowered you. Poor people from Sugoi and Kalmagut, poor people in Bomet. I write to you and ask you this morning, why are you allowing a multi-billionaire, a thief who has stolen public resources, a thief who has stolen school fees of your children, a thief who has stolen infrastructure that is meant to construct classes in Turkana County? A poor person in Turkana County cannot access basic amenities because You, the poor people, have embodied a thug in the name of Governor Nanok to continue selling the shenanigans that Awiribaru is your graduate kid who wants to become a doctor. A poor people that have been defranchised by an Asra narrative that shows them that a graduate, a doctor, does not need to become a doctor in this nation, does not become a lawyer in this nation, does not become a journalist like Jevan Karanja in this nation, does not become anything but a wheelbarrow pusher in an economy, in a 21st economy where people are making money well in their houses. A poor person in this country who has dared to sell everything to educate